Hi, I'm Viloshni. I'm an intimacy coach. I'm located in Johannesburg in South Africa, and my clients are all over the world as I work virtually. Over to you, Tamara.
Hi, I'm Tamara Bell, and I am a certified love coach. I am in Arizona, Yuma, Arizona, in the U.S. And I work in the adult industry, and I've been in the industry for about 25 years. And I met Viloshni through the university that we both got our certifications through. And I own a home party plan here in it's actually based in California, along with my business partner Angel Lowe. It's Angelic Pleasures. So we sell sex toys. Yeah,
How awesome is that?
yeah.
So this is the launch of Real, Raw, and Uncut. So Tamara and I will be coming to you on a weekly basis. And this is an opportunity for both Tamara and I to share our learnings with you. Whilst I'm very new, I'm only 6 months in the business. Tamara's got a wealth of knowledge.
The good thing is that we're going to be coming very natural, very open. This is going to be a no judgment zone, and we're going to talk about everything from the sexiest little kiss to some really serious topics that people are afraid to talk about. So
Yeah. So we're really, really excited about this because we're really passionate about what we do, and we want to change your lives, and we want to empower you. And we also want this to be a space that you can ask any question you want to.
yeah, so let's get into it. Oh,
Yeah.
we have a special guest coming on tonight or today. So we're going to keep it a secret till they pop on. So we got a treat for you guys. Oh,
And it
Viloshni,
is.
how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm all done up.
I know
Can you
you come
see?
out beautiful. Oh, our special guest is
Not
here.
usually like this.
Our special guest is here. So I
Oh,
just want to,
wow.
yeah, so I'm going to introduce to you guys Mr. Marcus. Here he comes. So he's just sort of getting in here right now. Put his camera on. Hey,
What up?
Hi.
look who has popped in here. So
Get some light.
we
Hold
want
on,
to
let me get some
introduce.
light on.
Oh, okay. So we're going to introduce Mr. Marcus, and he is a legend in the porn world. Everybody knows him all over the world. And we just happened to see him on the street, and we tackled him down and asked him to come on the show. So, Mr. Marcus, can you just give our people a little bit of history about you?
Hold on.
He's forever
That's
working.
like a workspace, office, typical. Hold on. Light. Is that better?
Yes. There you go.
All right, there we go. All right, what am I doing?
Telling us about you. Just give us a little history of what you do, or what you did and still do, and all that.
I mean, I took an interest in the adult business porn when I was young, about 15, 16. And but that's typical.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked. It's typical. We all get exposed to sexual images pretty early on in life. So we start to develop things, ideas, and perceptions. So I was just curious. That's how it all started for me. I was curious. I saw images and I got into the business around 94. things just kind of happened. I was trying to get into the business around 92, and I ended up meeting, I was always looking at the trade publications. There was one called LA Express, and it always advertised for modeling. It had escort services, had all the seedy things going on in life. It was in this trade publication, and it was free. You could find it on the street corner next to the newspaper rack. That's how accessible it was. So I found that, read through it, read that there was going to be a convention in Las Vegas for the porn convention. And it was people that, and it was funny because when you start to get involved with the industry, you start to recognize certain people.
Right.
And I immediately started recognizing the names and the people, and I said I wanted to go there. So I went there. I ended up meeting two influential people that are still my friends to this day, 27 years later. They still are, active, not in the industry, but active in my life.
Right.
And they met me, and they basically was like, you should be in a business. And that was off of nothing. That was just off of just a meeting, just a random, like I'm going up the escalator to the convention, and they were going up the escalator as well.
Right.
And they asked me right there on the spot, am I in the business? And if I wanted to be. And I said, yeah. I said no. And then I said, yeah. So, I mean, that's how it started. 94, I got into the adult business. I've worked with everybody. I did Playboy television for about 2.5 years. We did a show called Nooners, which was a live show. And it was really before webcamming became a thing on the internet. We used to broadcast it at their studios in Burbank out here. And I did that for 2.5 years. I've worked for Hustler. I did all signings next to Larry Flint. I worked for a lot of the Pro-Am companies. I had a contract with Vivid Video. They're the ones who brokered the Kim Kardashian video.
Right.
So I had a really strong relationship with them. And I still do to this day. We did the Mr. Marcus's Neighborhood, which was like the first all Black Pro-Am series for them, but on a high level, we nothing but new girls, and it was like the start of something. I always saw women in this business emerge and tell their story, take leadership roles, executive positions. So what I always saw out in the public was a lot of misinformation. Unfortunately, there's a lot of seedy characters in our business, and there's a lot of bad that comes with it. Drugs, abuse, harassment.
I think that's not just in our industry, that's others as well.
Right. So so being around for so long, you want to be an advocate against those things, and you want to at least enlighten people on what exists. And I wanted the workplace and the industry to get better, right? Because once I got into the business, I saw all the pitfalls. I was stepping in the shit all the time.
Right.
Excuse my language, but and so now, so now it's just more business minded. I'm always thinking about the fans, because when you're recognizable in this business, people tend to point you out, when you're going places or when you're doing things. And when you're highly photographed and you have explicit video out there, people are going to remember that.
Right.
There's no way.
I know I was asking you, how is it when you go out, just like an everyday person? Like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, I laugh. It's, to me, it's like every day. If I'm bored, if I'm in the house and I'm like, this is too safe and mundane, all I gotta do is just
go outside. Yeah.
Something's gonna happen. I guarantee.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, so I met you in probably 2000. I want to say maybe 2010. It may even been before that. And you wrote your book. That's how I met you. And and then I had seen you on some other shows and stuff. And I got to see another side. So like your fans know you through the porn, and I know the other side, which is cool.
Right.
And so so what are you doing, or what do you plan on doing? Are you performing? Are you doing anything right now?
Well, I mean, we are developing a podcast that's just really about like sexual experiences, sexual health, sexual enjoyment, sexual education. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about how a lot of things in the industry, this industry is a magnet. We attract people from all walks of life.
Right.
There isn't no one typical person who tunes into this and says, that's for me. They come from all over the place.
Right.
And they all bring a different experience to the business. And so I just really want to open up the conversation about sex in a way where, since it's so accessible, there's no, there used to be a time, when I wouldn't see a porn star on the street. They wouldn't be accessible. They're not,
Right.
You can't, like have
You
a
can't just
sexual
walk down the street and say, oh, I know him, or I know her.
Right.
Yeah.
And even to this day, it's still that way, because a lot of people are not the way they are on camera,
Right.
off camera. But what I've seen it in the explosion of webcam and social media and our cell phones, are like, we have the entire production is in our phone.
Right.
And now you see homegrown videos and homegrown studios that are proliferating. And I think with these sexual images, and I've talked to girls that are, half my age, and they're like, I grew up in a world where, sex was right there on anything I wanted to see sexually was accessible, but there was no context,
Yeah.
And so I think we should, there's an opportunity there to discuss these things deeper and educate people in the process. So that's part of what I'm doing. And I want to get back to filming, not so much in front of the camera, but more behind, and really support up and coming, professionals, artists, performers, anybody, you meet all kind of people when you're in the entertainment industry, especially in the filming things, filming videos, music videos, editors, photographers, makeup artists, costume designers. Everyone wants to contribute. Writers. So it's a collaboration process. So the goal is to tap into a community of people who are skilled at what they do and determined to do it. And and I really just want to like vibe with those cats going forward.
Yeah. Viloshni, you have any questions for him? I mean, I have a ton, but
yeah. I'd like to find out. I mean, how surely there was a whole build up in terms of preparing yourself physically and mentally before going into filming and that sort of thing. So it wasn't just something that you just decided and jumped into it. Am I right? Do you just want to?
Well, I didn't know what it took to do this.
Okay.
It was like jumping in the deep end, and
Okay.
The first set that I ever was on, I remember I walked on it. I drove. I got there early, and and I was there before everybody else. I was anxious. I was just wondering.
Yes.
And Shawn Michaels, Peter North, and Mark Wallace. At the time, these were like the three biggest actors in our business, and they all showed up. And here I was with the big boys immediately. And Peter North said, "You guys want to smoke a joint?" Shawn Michaels, who always smokes, said, "Yeah." And I was like trying to be the cool kid. I'm like,
No,
yeah,
like,
sure.
yeah, I'll do it too.
Yeah, I'll smoke too. And that was like my rite of passage, I guess. I sat in this car with the three of them, and we just smoked the joint. And I was just kind of like sitting in the back seat, just kind of like in awe.
Right.
This is where I was at. This is what I was doing. And I did, when I got on set, it was basically like the focus of keeping an erection versus everything that's going on in your head is just really like haywire. It just conflicts. It's just not natural. I had to learn how to perform. I had to learn the camera, and and ultimately I had to learn how to build chemistry with, women always have that knack for these things, I was in good hands, she knew like how to, get me to where I needed to be. That helped.
Yeah.
And points and tips that you pick up along the way is mentally, it affects you physically,
I think we think that you are like, you just go up in there and, and not have to do anything. You just go in there and just, get at it. And then like, it's something natural for you. I didn't know that you actually have to learn how to do all that,
Right. Well, because, you're dealing with another person intimately.
Right.
So, some of the things that you like to do, they may not like to do. And so you have to make adjustments there. Depending on what's required for the script or the concept, you might have to make adjustments in how you act, your approach. So if it's not natural for you, you have to make it feel natural.
Right.
The director may want a certain angle, and the hardest part is having a camera up your ass.
Yeah. I know, because when I've seen some porn and where they're like right. I mean, just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got this light, this hot light, and I've had, I've had flashbacks of, of some heated light bulb underneath my balls. So you have to get used to these things. You have to know that, you have to focus. What I found the best scenes to do are when everything else is tuned out. There's no camera, there's no crew. There's this is not a set. This is something intimate with two people. Yeah, we're just there. We're into each other. And, that's the best. You get the best work. I don't know if work's the right word. You get the best out of us if you just let us be us, right?
Right.
And then the crew is just technically sound. Like they're just there to capture the moment. We create the moment, they're there to capture it. The fans get to enjoy it. Yeah. And that's the objective. If that happens, I think it's a win.
I think people look at porn some of them look at in a bad way. So I get asked all the time, is it bad to look at porn? It could be very therapeutic. So there are people who need it, it's just
they definitely want it.
Right. And then the fantasy of it, like you wish you were there, or sometimes you get into it and you feel like you're there, like that's you, so I always tell people, just as long as it does not become an addiction to where you can't do anything else but watch.
Right.
Because some people do get addicted,
Yeah.
Now, you're global. When did you ever realize that, or like, and if you did, when did that happen? Like, you're all over the world.
Well, I mean, it was at one moment really specifically. We had just finished filming, and we did like 3 countries. We did Germany, Sweden, and Amsterdam. We were wrapping up in Amsterdam, and I was walking into the hotel, and these 2 brothers come walking up and like, oh, Mr. Marcus, hey, big fan, man. And that's when I was like, I was in Amsterdam.
Right.
and that's when it hit me. I was like, whoa, okay. And that was like maybe 4 years later into my business, into the industry. I had no idea. You know,
I did not know that you guys went out of country to film. I thought you did everything like in LA or, you know, at the studio. I didn't know you went away.
They like that American soul.
Yeah.
Wanted that American soul. They wanted to capture that American, you know, vibe, that brother, that Black essence.
So you have films that are just not here then. You have films like in other places that we probably haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean, I shot in Japan for twice.
Mm-hmm.
I shot in South America a few times. The one place I want to go is South Africa. You know, I've been, you know, that's why it's like when she told me that's where you were from, I was just like, it's, you know, I've been talking to people for the last few years about coming out there, to being out there, to doing something there. And
you have fans there.
To make that happen.
Yeah, and you have fans there. Like I met this guy, and he's only 20. Well, he was 25 when he first got in the business, and he's on the sex toy side. But as soon as I mentioned your name, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and he's 30 now, and I was like, "Oh, okay." You know, so
right.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go, and then I'll just go as your assistant.
Huh?
I'll go as your assistant.
You go.
I'm gonna fly there with you. Yeah, and do everything for you. So.
No, I'm down. I want to go there just because I feel like that's coming full circle for me.
Right.
You know, I think it's a huge opportunity in market. You know, I've been reading Trevor Noah. Are you familiar with him?
Mm-hmm.
The comedian? Yeah. I've been reading his book, Born a Crime, and he's really just talking about what it was like during apartheid and racial challenges that he faced growing up. And it's just like, it's kind of like prepping me for it, but I also want to experience it now. You know, now that I got some visuals, I actually want to experience it. So maybe that.
I got to meet Winnie Mandela. She came to LA for an event with Dionne Warwick, and my godmother did an event, and so I got to actually meet her. But I didn't really talk to her for a long time. But it was just the thought of meeting her, you know. And so my kids, they were all little. They went and presented flowers to her entourage. So. And I'm all up in there with them. Hey, here's a flower for me. But yeah, I would love to go. I have a lot of friends there, so.
Yeah, we gotta make that happen. Well, you know, because I had read somewhere that they just opened up the porn is really restricted there, and it's almost not allowed or something, or is it just? I know, and I know they have a convention back in October or something, like a sex convention.
Sexpo, a sexpo. Yeah, but porn is not banned in this country. So I mean, we're able to watch porn and that sort of thing. So I'm just not too sure what the laws are around probably recording and that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's what it. Yeah,
maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I'm actually going to look that up because that's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be interesting is that if you do come to South Africa, for us to do maybe arrange a book signing so that your book can get out to South Africans as well. Good marketing. Yeah.
That's
always. Speaking of books.
Huh?
I said, speaking of books, just tell them about your first book and then what your plans are for the future.
The first book I wrote was called The Porn Star Guide to Great Sex. And that was a mouthful. And it was just, you know, I wanted something that stood out. And once the idea behind it was to share the experiences that I've had on set and some of the sexual techniques that I learned that helped me, do the job at hand, right? To make these movies, to perform at a higher level.
Right.
But it was also things that people could do at home, right? It was things that you can do in your own relationship, things that you can do yourself that you can feel as if you're a porn star as well, and so sexually, it was supposed to have been written originally for women, but in writing it, I realized that men would be looking over her shoulder,
right,
reading it as well. So then it became about writing it as for couples. And even though and at the time I had been with my ex-wife now, but I had been with my wife for almost 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I could talk about both. Like I can talk about how it was when I was on set, and I can talk about how it was when I was at home. Right. And so that book is like a marriage of those two things, so to speak, of that world and my private life and my public life. And so that's how the book is written. It's informative. We tried to cover a lot of different things. We incorporated a lot of different, we talk about swinging, bisexuality, role playing, bringing toys into the bedroom. We address health issues, STDs, protection, different types of lubes, how they affect the body. We talked about, I even addressed the issue, like if you just want masturbation or mutual masturbation, I tried to incorporate as much as we could think of and what was at the time of interest. And now going forward, the second book is a lot more personal. It's way more about the experience that I've had in the business for the last 27 years, but all the different people that are part of that story, that journey, all the different, all those different stories and experiences that were, that happened, that we're sharing, we wanted to share them and tell, include people in the experience. That's what it's about now, including you in the experience.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I've always, because I have the first book, I actually have 3 copies of it. I just bought them 2 of them by accident. But what I loved about the book is that I thought it was just going to be like just a memoir, even though it didn't say that. But it ended up being a self-help. So I think your second book is going to be sort of like a memoir.
Right. Because I'm very message heavy, wise words, pass on, if I receive some wise words, that I immediately want to share them. And I think it was really about like keeping your head up, being how to, how to overcome a bad day. That's really what the book is about. Like, how do you get past obstacles and challenges in your life? And it's by
people look at you as though like you're just, out there just fucking, pretty much. That's the term.
It was for a little while.
Yeah. And no, but that's how people look at you. And they don't see the passionate side, and this is not just the passionate side of the sex, but the passionate side of health and all of that, because you are passionate about that, but people are only looking at the one thing, so I'm excited about like what's to come. And I think I mentioned to you before to do some self-help books, just like little bitty ones, find a good illustrator.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
how did you manage the balance? Because performing,
I was just gonna ask that question.
you know,
I knew
before the
I did it
camera,
too. I
and then
knew it
coming
when the
home.
minute I put it out there. I knew it was coming.
Oh, it was in my head, and I was like, oh, I don't know, because you know what I was getting ready to say.
Well,
my mind blush. No, what I was gonna say is, do you ever come home and forget, and you know, like, because you've been out performing all day, and then you come home and it's like almost like performing, but not really. Do you ever, does that ever clash?
Well, yeah, it was conflicting, and that's probably
Yeah.
why we're not married now.
Oh,
It's like you know. Yeah, so that's pretty much how it just conflicted, and it was just.
As soon as he said it, I was like, wait.
But you know, but it was a time, you know, it was substantial because we had two kids from that. You know, my daughter, my oldest daughter is 24, and my youngest is 18, and you know, we've been, you know, it's been up and down. You know, my decision to get into the adult industry, when I got into it in '94, I didn't know her, you know, and then when I met her, when I met her, she was, you know, oblivious to this world. And the whole idea of any notoriety or even being known didn't even dawn on me, because I had to go through different hurdles just to find adult when I was growing up. You know, it wasn't as easily as accessible as it is now. So it was like there was no idea of the future of like internet, and now you can just Mr. Marcus, you know, and there I was on the phone. There was none of that. So, yeah, I mean, so it's kind of like, you know, and then when those things started happening, when you started getting more notoriety and people, it changed the dynamic. It changed, you know, it changed my relationship with her. And unfortunately, she didn't ask for none of that. She didn't want none of that. She didn't want to be associated with none of that. But you know, I had already done all these things. Yeah. And it was tough, but we're cool. Me and her, we're still cool. We crack jokes, and you know, she's still in my corner. You know, you know, and our kids are awesome. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you have to find a way. You know, you have to find a way. You can't just accept if it doesn't feel right and it isn't right. Don't accept that. You know what I mean? Do something about it. And it's a constant lesson that that keeps happening in my life is, you know, so you just fight for what matters, you know. Yeah. And, you know, I just happened to go through the porn industry, but I wanted to come out intact. You know, I've seen a lot of people go in this industry and succumb to a lot of different illnesses and ailments and just things that have happened, things that emotionally and physically have happened. And I just was trying my best to just come out intact.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons why we decided to do this is to be able to like tell stories and, you know, let people see what it's really like, you know, and not just, you know, the information that they read, because sometimes it's not true and accurate, and not just like on a person, but just period. So I'm happy to see that you are, you know, moving forward. Do you have like special plans for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I write like nobody's business. I mean, I got notes, and I'm an accumulator of ideas and thoughts. And so, you know, and I love, you know, just not just my own, but other people's, right? It's just like I absorb all these other people, all these other energies. And so you know, I'm hoping that it channels itself into more structure, more of a business that that's beneficial to longtime fans, to new fans, to people who are discovering sex or curious about sex, bringing sex toys, like I said, enjoyment, education, and health awareness. I want to just be a part of that conversation, and you know, and I think I've had to do it from the inside out and now from the outside in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have a broader perspective, and being around for so long, you tend to see things that work and what doesn't work. And then,
Right.
And then it's a matter of your team, aligning yourself with, like I said, people who are skillful and determined to do what they're good at. I've learned, I got great friends in and out the business, but I would love to have, really great business relationships as well. Because I wasn't always good at business. I always found myself in it. I always was doing it, but I didn't really have a business-minded team around me.
Right.
Because
you're getting there. So
I'm getting there. Yeah. Right. Because one foot was always in performing, and performing didn't require all that. It just required, that guy. So it's just like, for the business, I got to use everything else. So it's just not, it's kind of like, that is what I want to do going forward. The second book, the podcast, doing a production that includes, talented professionals, and, and hopefully, develop something that's beneficial to whoever wants it.
Well, I'm excited, and I'm going to be a part of your management team. So I'm just giving you a heads up on that. So we have 6 minutes left on this podcast. Viloshni, do you have any last words?
I'm looking forward to Mr. Marcus visiting South Africa.
Yeah, that might happen soon.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We got you up kind of early, and appreciate it. Here it is noon, and in South Africa it is.
It's just after 9 in the evening.
Okay. So this is good. Yeah. We got you right. Are you early? Are you you stay up late though, huh? Do you stay up late or do you
Yeah. And as I do too.
I call it the COVID. What was a word I came up with? It was like, because COVID has changed everything.
Right.
It's poor kids. The schools.
I know. Are you an all-nighter, or you go to bed on early?
I used to be out, because I'm a very social guy. I really like the clubs and drinking and partying and the music. I just love that energy.
Right.
And so, there, you could probably still go do it, but there's risks involved now. Right. So it's kind of like, and I'm not a big binge watcher, unless I do watch. I find some TV shows that I like, and then I'll binge. And then I'll if I get ideas, then it's really a matter of.
Right.
That's the type of work I rather do. I rather just be lost in an idea and work on that. But lately it's just been staring at the TV, just like.
So just unplug the TV, pull out your notebooks, and start writing.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely correct. That's like I don't know if this is. I have notepads after notepads. It's like notepads.
It reminds me of me, I tell you, because I'm the same way. I just I take on other people's ideas and my own, and it's really hard sometimes to stay on track. And so I'm really that's the focus of the year, is to stay on track. Right. Yeah, we're gonna help you stay on track.
Yeah, I need a little guidance. I'm trying to upload. I've been editing a lot of old scenes. Mm-hmm. I used to shoot a lot of stuff that I never released, and some of these things are really intimate and personal, but they're good. There's like good energy, good vibes, because it's more of what I wanted to do instead of a director or producer hiring me to do it.
Right.
And so it's just been.
It's going to be so much better. you know,
Yeah.
because you're doing it.
Yeah, I think this is what I wanted to do. I was directing about a year into being in the business. I was writing and I was directing immediately because I just had these ideas, and I'd always see these scenarios. And now you look on Instagram, you see these little 1 minute snippets of a you know, of a routine of an act, and I'm like, I can do those things.
Right.
I can do I can do these little, you know, daily clips, these daily uploads. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna be more back on camera. You know, I was off camera for a long time. Now I'm ready to be back in front of it.
So we're gonna end. We are less than a minute. So again, want to thank you for coming on, Viloshni. You know, we're going to be doing this on a regular basis. We hope that you'll be another guest,
Yeah.
like, all the time, and become a co-host maybe. Any last words for you? And then we're just going to go ahead and end. And we hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. Have a great, awesome day.
Okay.
You know, and do what you love.
Yeah, you do what you love in moderation.
Right.
Thank you so much, Mr. Marcus.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and I'll be talking to you soon.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.